Hey, my name is Jonathan Helm, and in this video, I will be teaching you how to think about R as a calculator. So in the last YouTube video, I showed you how to download and install R for the first time. And in this video, I'm going to start to teach you how I would like you to think about R and some of the things that you can do with R. And it will mainly focus on considering R just to be a calculator. All right, so to begin, let's go ahead and open up R. And you might be opening up R for the first time. So I'm just going to scroll to my applications, and I'm going to open up R. And when we open up R through our applications, what should open up is the console, right? So if you look up at the top here, it says R console. It's going to look a little bit different on a PC, but it should say something like console up at the top. What I want you to do straight away is go to File and open up a new document. Okay, so I have a document here, which is really just a blank page, something that I can type into. Right, so this document is also referred to as an editor, so throughout the video series I'll often call it an editor. Right, so we have the editor and we have the console. Now again, the console can be conceptualized as a calculator. Okay, so you can imagine that you might have been taking a math class, before you started watching these YouTube videos, and as you're learning, algebra, calculus, trig, geometry, you start to learn that it's a lot easier to use a calculator to perform some of the functions, right? This is going to save you a little bit of time. Calculator is usually a little bit better about making errors as long as the input is correct. And because of that, we like to use calculators. And the same is true for statistics, right? So as we start to learn about t-tests, regression, ANOVA, maybe multi-level models and structural equation models, we really want to let the computer do a lot of the work for us, right? It's going to do the hard work of analyzing the data and performing that computation, and it's going to give us back the output or the results that we're interested in. Okay, so because of that, it really can be viewed as a calculator. It's kind of like your statistics calculator. Okay, so if I look at the console to kind of demonstrate this, for example, I can start by typing in 1 plus 2. All right, so if I just type that in and then I hit enter, my calculator, R is going to return back the answer of 3, right? It's going to take in the information that I've told it, the 1 plus 2. And if I hit enter, it will return a 3, just like a calculator, right? I can do 2 times 4. I hit enter, it's going to return back the number 8, right? So we can see even just through these basic and very simple steps that R really is just a very fancy calculator, okay? Now I have the console here. And you can think of the console as the part that's actually performing the computation for us. And the other part that I have over here is called the editor, okay? And the editor is a place where we can write code, we can write syntax. Like, so for example, writing out 1 plus 2 or writing out 2 times 4, that is actual syntax, that's code, okay? And initially we just wrote that directly into the console, but another way that we can go about handling that problem is by typing it into an editor, right? So I can type in 1 plus 2 into my editor directly here. Okay, and then what I can do is I can highlight this code, and on a Mac, if you hold the command button and press enter, okay, then R will copy, it's going to copy that code and paste it into the console, and then also run that code for you, right? So it's copied the 1 plus 2 into the console, and it ran it to give us back a 3. And we can do the same thing. Right, as we scroll down, I have 2 times 4. I'm going to highlight this, hold command and press return. Right, and I get an 8. Okay. Now if you're using a PC, if you hold the control button and then press R, that's what's going to copy and paste the syntax into the console. So on a Mac it's command return, and on a PC it's control R. Now the benefit of doing this is that we can save the syntax. Okay, so it's very easy to go to File and to Save. Right, and I have my document, I'll just call this first code. And we can save it to the desktop, right? So if I end up closing this out and I want to reopen it later, then I have that file saved somewhere on my computer. Okay, so the idea here is that if I write out a lot of code, and as you can imagine in the future we'll be running more complicated statistical analyses, I may have lines and lines of code, I might do 2 or 3 or 4 analyses in a row, I can save the code in this editor and then rerun it later in R. Okay, so I can just reopen up that editor. Okay, so generally speaking, again, kind of overall, R just is a calculator, right? It's just a calculator. You have the console that kind of does all the hard work for you, and you also have the editor, which is a place to write out some code and to save your code. Okay, so thanks. If you enjoyed this YouTube video, please press like, down at the bottom of this video. Please subscribe if you haven't already. And if you have any comments or feedback, feel free to leave comments on this page, or you can also email me at jonathanleehelm@gmail.com. Thank you so much for watching.